Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching as we consider Marty Haugen's Psalm 23, Shepherd Me, O God, certainly the most beloved of the settings of Psalm 23. And we're going to put it to use here coming up for the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time, but obviously used across the liturgical canvas, as it were, the liturgical landscape. So what we're looking at here is I've already made some basic notes to let you know things to watch for, and these are obvious ideas, right? I have my highlighter here, my pencil, and we'll make some more notes as we go along. Of course, maximum note value, 7 beats, 7 beats, 6 beats, 6 beats, 4, but keeping in mind that we have the ritardando here, right? So we're going to slow down kind of all through this last bit, especially in these last 3 measures, but we'll get there. Don't worry about that. So some general ideas, and I'm hoping that not only will this bring new ideas into your mind for how to cantor and lead this song and give you confidence at the ambo, but also help to potentially refresh your approach because it's been used so extensively over these past 25 plus years. So there's a lot to look at and explore. When I do this alone, like at a funeral, and I've done it many times at funerals, of course, I play it totally different than the way you would maybe hear it if someone was playing directly out of the piano book. And the way I do that, it kind of gains its inspiration from Glenn Frey's You Belong to the City. Do you remember that song? And so a bit of what I do comes from that, where I don't even play the refrain. I don't play the notes of the refrain because it's so well known, and also to save time. So I just play these 2 measures for the intro. Now, don't worry about that for this weekend, and hopefully for Sunday Mass, your accompanist will play the whole thing for you, and that's what I'm going to do here. So let's dive right in, and let's go ahead and start where you start. All right, where you come in the first time, okay? Always presume that there's at least, certainly one person, but many people in the congregation that day who have never heard this song. Even a song like this, even if it's a Here I Am, Lord, even if it's a Holy, 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 even if it's Amazing Grace, all right? Presume that there's someone who's not heard it, and don't rest on that, okay? Don't rest on that thing of, oh, everyone knows it. There's going to be someone who doesn't, or someone who's forgotten it since the last time they heard it, and they need you to be strong. That being said, because it's so well known, the confidence and voice of the congregation will do a lot of work for you, and we'll discuss that in just a moment. So, let's start right there at the top. You come in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and... Just going to kind of play, or try to play clean. That's 7 beats. 1, 2, 3. Sing it again. Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants, beyond my fears, from death into life. So right off the top, even though we have all of these commas, did you hear how I tried to put a slur from shep to once? Like that, okay? It's not a very good slur, but you get the idea. It's not easy to write like this in the piano. From shep to once. And the s of once gives you a natural break. The s almost makes you take a bit of a breath there. Beyond my wants, beyond... You see, so you get a moment to breathe a little more, and then the same is here after fears or death, although beyond my fears, from death into life. Now, I sometimes, especially at funerals, I try to make a point to really accent this. I did that just now, where I'll sing, from death into life. The piano's doing half the work there, right? From death... Right, the staccato chord. So Think about that. You don't have to do that, but if you're looking at the 7-beat tied note and you're thinking, oh boy, then use that to your advantage. Beyond my fears, from death into life. Okay, let's try it one more time, then we'll go to verse 1. Ready? Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants, breathe, beyond my fears, from death into life. God is my shepherd, so nothing shall I want. I rest in the meadows of faithfulness and love. I walk by the quiet waters of peace. Did you hear the phrasing? God to want, one breath. I rest, I to love, one breath. And if you can hack it, if you can make it work, I to peace, also again in one breath. 3 well, except for the last one, 2 measures, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 measures at the end. It doesn't have to be loud. This is not a loud song until we really get to the forte of verse 4. But even then, from forte and then down to double piano. So this is not a song where you have to over-sing. You can sing it more quietly, you can sing it more lightly, and there's a lot of room, I would say quite a bit of room, in these first 3 verses alone to try different things dynamically, okay, to look at that. A lot of that's up to you, and we can talk through that, not in this video, but we can talk through that in rehearsal, like what's going to work for you, the way you access it in your heart, the way it ministers to your spirit. That you want part of that to be part of the delivery, although of course not at the sake of what we would loosely call performance, where it seems that you're more performing it than cantoring it. Along those lines, and I mentioned this before, because this song is so well known, when you come back to the refrain after verse 1, gauge how the congregation is doing, and I would loosely suggest that if you feel that they've got a hold on it, you might not sing much past God. For example, let's say we've given it some time. Now we're into verse 2. My spirit shall sing the music of your name. Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants, beyond my fears, from death into life. I don't have access to the whole keyboard with the stand right there. But anyway, you can hear how I brought it back considerably. Now, if I'm standing at the microphone, it's still going to pick me up, but obviously it'll sound a lot softer, considerably softer. I'm singing basically like double piano. Now, you don't want to mislead people to think that you want them to sing quietly. You don't. But if the people are singing, get out of the way. This is their part, right? I mean, this is in that sense of the antiphonal nature of a psalm. You sing the verses, they sing the refrain. So for some psalms, you need to guide them in the refrain. This one, maybe not so much. So if you feel that they can do it on their own, get out of the way. I would say at the very least, make sure that your mouth is moving. Don't just raise your hands and step back entirely. Keep your mouth moving to guide them. Keep the sound coming, but you don't need to be right up on the mic or certainly singing to that same volume. Now, the way that you come in and out of the verses has a lot to do with that. For example, my spirit shall sing the music of your name. Poetically speaking, is this an intense line? Is it soft? What's the expression in it? That's up to you, okay? That's something that you need to sort of work out in your own life, but also with your accompanist. So for some people, the though I should wander the valley of death can be stronger. Though I should wander the valley of death, I fear no evil, for you are at my side. Your rod and your staff my comfort and my hope. Shepherd me, O God. It was stronger, right? Okay. Again, thinking back to that, I know it's a silly example, but it is worthwhile, to the example of the cheeseburger. When you bite into it, are you tasting layers? Are you tasting textures? Are you tasting the nuances of all the different ingredients? And we want to try to, forgive for me for using it like that, but we want a cheeseburger, have a cheeseburger approach to our Psalms when there are different ideas, okay, different things present. Not in performance, not exhibition. This is not you alone at the ambo singing this to yourself, still leading, but to bring people into the essence of the psalm, remembering that cantoring is an extension or another kind of lector ministry. And we know the difference between the observational difference, experiential difference between a lector who reads kind of flat, which for some passages is perfect. But for other passages, especially from the epistles, Paul's pastoral writing, when there's that expression there, we really hear Paul's love for the people, his admonition to them. That makes a lot of difference. And the same is true in psalmody. Okay, let's look at verse 4, the dastardly verse 4. Now, I would say for myself, not doing verse 4 a lot, not most of the time, if I don't do this maneuver, okay, and I'm not going to highlight it here because I don't want to visually confuse it with what's happening with the tide notes and the extensions, but to make sure that I do nail this exchange, right, that goes from the refrain out of 3 to 4. And so here is where you've only got that 3 beats. You might shape it back to 2 if you need the breath, but keep in mind you have 2 beats to breathe before you have set me a banquet of love. So, from death into life. That wasn't very good. I always want to hesitate. All right, that's, let me try again. This is practice for me too. From death into life. That was me being showy with the passing chords. Let me try it one more time. I'm sorry, no messing around. From death into life. Expression there, but obvious forte, and then we really need to hear that. We really want to hear that. You have set me a banquet of love in the face of hatred, crowning me with love beyond my power. Whatever it's okay, so that's with the ritornando. You could also kind of see it as a fermata, but still within that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we come to verse 5. I know this is a lot of different thoughts, tangential thinking. Thank you for sticking with me during this kind of stream of consciousness approach. But just want to throw these things out, put new ideas in your toolbox perhaps, okay, or new tools in your toolbox. We come to surely your kindness. Don't call me Shirley, but you can if you want, I guess. It doesn't matter. Starting here at piano. Not that the other ones were at piano necessarily. I would say more at mezzo piano to mezzo forte, somewhere in that region. Surely your kindness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. Remember, this doesn't mean all the days, just make them clear. All the days of my life. Right, okay, we'll look at it in a second. So let's go to verse 5. Ready? Now, work this out with your accompanist. What I would like to do here with the cantors I work with is I'll play this pattern, and you can hear that, right? I hope that you can hear that in the accompaniment, the suspension and resolution. So back to all the days of my life, I will dwell in the house of my God forevermore. And back to the top, okay? Now, what I mean is, when I play that, life, as soon as we get to the suspensions, the fourth suspension, then you come back in when you're ready to. Hear that line again? All the days of my life, I will dwell in the house of my God forevermore. On we go. Think about that. If you're not comfortable with that, even though poco ritarando is indicated, we can put it more rhythmically. For example, all the days of my life, I will dwell in the house of my God forevermore. Okay. Really valuable, again, to have that 6 beats. Otherwise, it's the same idea as here, where the piano is just left doing what for its own sake. Obviously, again, he indicated in the accompaniment 2 different sets of chords, 2 different musical ideas there. E minor over E, E minor 7, A major over E. You want to hear that. And I'm adjusting it ever so slightly. That's my own contribution, perhaps, is to put in kind of a B7-ish in there as well, but that's my own doing. Okay, so I think that's, 18 minutes, that's enough. I've given you a lot, I hope. I hope I've given you a lot. I've said a lot. I don't know if I've given you anything. But take these ideas with you into how you approach this, okay? Different ideas, the cheeseburger, different approaches, different suggestions, certainly thinking always of the community first, of the congregation first. You want to give them a delivery of the psalm that's interesting, that keeps the attention, but obviously that does not put you as the cantor first. The text really in this case is first. And yet our office, our work, our ministry as cantor is to bring it to life in a new way, which is a very special challenge with a piece like this because it's so well known. How wonderful, and certainly one of the greatest compliments that I think I ever get with something like this is, wow, you brought it to life in a new way. Or some people would say, you made it your own. I don't care for that so much, but I do like to hear that your interpretation was new. And like I mentioned, that's kind of where some of the Glenn Fry stuff comes into, some of the chord voicings and that sort of stuff, which help us to approach it in a new way. So we'll see you at rehearsal. Hope this video was helpful, and looking forward to seeing what you put together for Mass. Take care.